Hey, new followers on Snapchat, this is just for you. I'm only doing this on Snapchat. I won't do it on any of my other social medias. I'm about to shoot my reaction for everybody's everything. And so that you know that this is no bullshit, this is really happening, I'm recording it right now for my YouTube channel. So make sure you check it out and you'll see that this is the real deal. And 5, 4, 3. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sixx Daze. I am Bob Sixx, and today I'm finally getting around to my most requested reaction. I get asked all the time if I've watched Everybody's Everything, when am I going to react to it, all sorts of stuff. And the biggest part was finding the time to watch it because of how long it is. The second part was how exactly was I going to do it? Was I going to sit here and record the entire thing and then edit it down? Well, that's not really my style because I don't like to edit. As y'all know, I like to be 100% genuine. So, since I just finished watching it, I decided the best thing to do would be to jump on here and do my reaction to it now, because the only people that are going to watch this are the people that have watched it, so they'll know what I'm talking about. It may piss some of you off, some of my observations, opinions. Some of it may not. But the point is, or the deal is, as I've told you all along, I'm never going to bullshit you. It's always going to be 100% genuine. So if you agree with me, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Remember, and that's part of this whole ordeal, there are 3 sides to every story. There's your side, there's my side, and then there's the truth. So I watch things, people have been giving me little pieces of Peep all along. He was this, he was that, and this is how it was, and this is how it is, and yada, yada, yada. And I've taken all that, and a lot of my earlier Peep reactions, I was going based on the information I know, because as y'all know, I do not research the people I'm reacting to, because I want it to be a genuine reaction. What does the song make me feel at that moment? So after watching this, I feel I know people a little bit better, and some of you are going to get pissed off, but please remember, most of you are looking at it from a hardcore fan's point of view. Much like a parent looks at their child. A lot of parents, and I'm not saying he was a bad kid, that's not what I'm saying. Oh, he was a really good guy, which is what I feel led to his demise. But a lot of parents look at their child and ignore flaws. Or a lot of couples don't see things that their partner, flaws in their partner, but everybody else sees them. They're going, but. So now that's kind of what I have from this. I do not, let me tell you right up front, I do not believe his mother has a case against his management company. I do believe she has a case against the security company. And I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But I want to talk about what I saw in him as a person, as a performer. It's a different perspective I bring because I'm older, I've lived longer, I've had more experiences. I've also been an entertainer in one form or another since the 2nd grade. I still remember my first time on stage, how I felt when people applauded. I don't get stage fright. A lot of people told me that Pete had really bad stage fright and that's why he did drugs. I don't believe that at all. I saw nothing in that documentary to show that he had stage fright, or at least not crippling stage fright where he had to get messed up every night to go on stage. I did not see that at all. So I don't know where that comes from. I'm sure I'll get bombarded. Oh, you're so stupid. We know this and we know that. But I don't know that. What I'm doing is based on what I saw and what I know as an entertainer. Because I do know entertainers, some actually quite successful, that have horrible stage fright until they get on that stage and they get going. But they feel safe on stage. They would never be down in a crowd doing any kind of anything. Most of the performers that I know that have stage fright will leave immediately after the show. And they sure as hell would not have a whole bunch of people in their house, ever. I don't ever have people in my house. I don't get stage fright, but my home is my sanctuary, and I will never have a large crowd in my home. Now, they did say that, a lot of times he didn't want those people there, but he didn't have it in him to kick them out. And I think that stems from his daddy issues. I think that's the real issue here. It wasn't performing. It was, he had issues with his father, which, trust me, I kind of get that. I had issues with my biological father. Him and my mom divorced when I was a little bit younger than Pete was when his parents divorced. And I actually had him walk up to the vehicle. We weren't allowed to get out of the vehicle at his house one day. And he walked out and let me know that he was not my father and don't even bother waving at him. I was cool with that. I never had a void. So, but I know other people that do. And obviously Pete had some issues with his dad as far as not just leaving, that way the whole situation played out. I feel bad for the kid. His father obviously didn't respect him at all, which probably led to some of the depression, but a lot of the wanting to please people. Am I not doing enough to make people want to be around me? Or if I stand my ground and upset them, are they going to leave me? I know a lot of people that as kids, when their parents divorced or separated or whatever, they thought it was their fault. It's not the kid's fault at all. It's the parents. But from what I gather from watching the entire documentary, paying attention, backing up a few times, I think he had some serious issues with how that played out. And he was probably trying to escape the pain from that. So I'm sure some of you are going to get upset and go, no, I saw him say, well, I didn't see that. Sorry. I didn't see that he had a problem at all performing. He seemed to enjoy it quite a bit. The drugs gets out of hand. They will grab you by the short and curlies really quick and drag you up and down the street, especially once you start getting money. That's another thing. When he started getting money, he kept trying to help his friends. That's the kind of friend he was. Clothes, food, all that kind of stuff. You can't do that. Now, I'm sure, I know there's conspiracy theories, and I can kind of see where you might think that, but here's the real way of looking at it. Why would you cut the throat of the person that's feeding you or guiding you to where you want to be, or is the lead to take you where you want to go, but you don't have the talent to get there yourself? Some of you are going to get upset. I'm not saying none of those guys had talent, but there are some guys that are strictly entertaining because of their connection to Pete. I've said in some of their videos I've reacted to, they don't have it. I know they have fans. And again, they got those fan blinders on. I'm looking at it from a whole different perspective. And so I'm not getting at that. That's not what this is about. But him feeling the need to help his friends along the most he could, and the record company actually told him, we're not interested in any of them. We're interested in you. Now that does a lot of things. For him, it now makes him feel like a piece of shit because he has to leave his friends behind to do what he wants to do. And everybody goes through those moments where, for example, I also watched the ZZ Top documentary this morning. Dusty Hill, the bass guitarist, the band had taken a 3-year hiatus, and he just wanted to be a normal person. He literally got a job at an airport under the name Joe. And I think he said 6 or 8 months. He worked there. He literally went to work every day. Went to the bar on Friday, drank and danced, and he was Joe. He got to be a normal person. He got to step out of that life. And it worked. But he needed that. The problem with taking off the way Pete did, see, ZZ Top built their career from, 69? They actually hold the longest record in rock and roll for the same band members. They've played together for 50 years with no lineup change. But they built their fame over time. They weren't instant success. Peep took off pretty quick, and that's a lot for a grown-up to handle, much less a young man who's just coming into his late teens, early 20s. A lot of pressure goes on you. It's not just about performing. It's all fun and games when you're performing. And then the money starts to roll in. And then you start doing shit like buying grills and 50, 60, 70 pairs of shoes. You know, I'm not hating on him. It happens. When you go from not having anything, from literally living on Skid Row, to now you got money and you can get what you want and you can help your friends and help give them what they want. That creates another beast, yet at the same time another burden. You know, Ace Frehley from Kiss said when Kiss took off, he never had less than $3,000 cash in his pocket. And it was nothing for him to walk into a toy store and spend all $3,000 of it buying toys. Be driving down the street and decide he wants another car, whipping and buy a Lamborghini or whatever, multi-$1,000 car caught his eye. So, again, Kiss that was from 73 to 77, so a 4-year climb to reach that point. Peep took off much quicker than that. Then, when they finally, from what I gather, got him to see, this is what's best for you. This is going to do everything you want to do. And he had to cut that tie. He still felt the obligation to his friends, which showed you the kind of person he was, because he could have just walked away, which is going to sound messed up. I made sure I didn't use the F word. The F word is actually the appropriate word to use, but I don't want YouTube not pushing this video. It's kind of messed up, but that's the best thing, or this is going to sound messed up, that would have been the best thing for him to do. Literally cut all ties and go do what he's got to do. Your true friends will still be there. The users and the hanger-ons, they'll turn their back because what they're doing is looking for the next ticket. A lot of the comedy guys I know, the top touring comedy guys, will tell you when young comics move to Los Angeles, one of the first things they ask them are about shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. Are there comics that take off quick? Yes, there are. It just happens. You just right time, right place, stars are aligned, all that shit, and whoosh, straight to the top, but they also drop the fastest. So, in this day and age, people are taking off super quick, and these kids can't handle it. They're not having time to be molded into a celebrity. Eric Carr, when he joined Kiss, which was already established, the band actually taught him how to be a rock star, how you react in public places, how you present yourself, how you conduct an interview, all that. People didn't have anybody teaching him that. It's just all piled onto him on top of anxiety and depression, that kind of shit. You could see it in his eyes. You could see the change. You could watch the change in him from this young kid, super excited, to just slowly dying inside. So, yeah, the fame, although we all crave it, it's not as great as everybody thinks because there's a whole host of problems that come with it. Why do you think so many entertainers are drug addict alcoholics? It's the pressure. Everybody wants a piece of your time. So, now I'm going to get to the messed up part, the most messed up part of the entire thing. From what I saw, and I backed it up, I watched it 3 or 4 times. Peep was dead on that bus, and nobody bothered him. Now, the one part is, yeah, the kid was exhausted. Maybe somebody thought to give him some time to catch some sleep. But all things considered, what's going on, radio interviews, you don't just roll into a town and do shows when you do as a nobody. But when you're somebody and everybody wants pictures, there's all sorts of shit that's involved with it. So to sleep an hour is like really crazy. For him to be on that bus for 4 hours and not move is ridiculous. So that's why I blame security. Somebody should have at some point went, something's not right. He should have already been moving, or somebody should have already been in there going, dude, you got to get up. We have to do this. Do I feel bad for Bexy? Yeah, absolutely. Trying to video him and clown him, thinking he's asleep. But he looked even deader in those pictures than he did the first earlier pictures. I fall asleep in that position all the time, but I assure you, I do not stay in that position. Ever. Nobody falls asleep and stays in the exact same position. You can say you do, because I've said I do many times, but my wife has showed me pictures. Even though I go to sleep in a position, I wake up in that position, I did not spend all night in that position. Especially that sleeping position. That kid was dead, and the fact that he was there that long is a crying shame. So I don't blame the record company for, you can't stop the entertainer from getting the drugs because they're everywhere. Everybody, that's their tie-in. Oh shit, I gave him this and I gave him that and I gave him this. They even show it in there, people slipping him shit. Oops, kick the camera, sorry about that. So the documentary's done very well, with the exception of the editing, because I reacted to the video that they show when he OD'd before he went on stage. They edited out the part. They mentioned, well, there was a trash can in case he started throwing. He did puke. Hard. Now, the record company said, or the management said, that, they're even considered calling the fire department to save face and get the place shut down due to capacity violation. That could be them covering their ass, absolutely. I'm not saying that they are hands-free, because a lot of management will turn the other eye as long as you're on stage making them money, because if you're making money, they're making money. They don't do that shit for free. They don't do it because they're your buddy. They might like you, but you're not their buddy. You're their meal ticket. So I don't really blame management from what I've seen in that. I do feel that he had issues, and the drugs he was taken to help him cope with those issues was his downfall, as they do with everybody. But I do think the security involved in this, I do think they are somewhat negligent, because you don't leave a star on the bus that long. And for that guy to say that, well, I went in there one time and he was covered with a blanket. No, I didn't see a blanket in either one of the pictures. So, he wasn't touched. Or I don't believe he was touched. Maybe there was a blanket. I didn't see it in the first picture when it was daylight outside, and I didn't see it in the second picture when it was dark outside. So, I do have a little bit different perspective now on Peep. I do think he was a great guy and wanted to do a lot of things, but he didn't hate his success. He spent money buying some dumb shit. Everybody does. You can't hate on somebody. He worked hard for that. Came from having nothing. He earned it. So I'm not judging him at all for that. You worked hard. You deserve it. You get what you want. I would. So I enjoyed the documentary. I will watch it again. Like I said, I backed up quite a few parts to watch it over to make sure I heard what I heard, or I saw what I saw. If bizarrely you sat here and watched this entire thing and not watched it, watch it for yourself. See what you think. I'm sure I'm going to catch a whole bunch of, no, you're wrongs, and that's okay. Tell me I'm wrong. You weren't there, so you don't know. Unless you have firsthand experience, proof that you were there. Not something somebody else said. I don't care who said it. Unless you were physically there and you can show me a picture, you don't know either. You know what you've read, you know what you've heard. Just like I know what I've read, and I know what I've heard. So, I don't mind you disagreeing with me and telling me I'm wrong, but let's not get out of hand. Every now and then there's a few people that will get a little shitty. Most of you are super positive, and I love interacting with all of you. And I know this is kind of a sensitive subject because a lot of you hold him into a certain light that I don't. I'm not saying I don't like him. I do. It's just I'm looking at it from a different perspective, a different set of eyes. So that's my reaction to it. Anxious to see what y'all think about it. Until next time, I am Bob Sixx.